And then we have the hordes of dead voters. Once again,
Look at this. Look at the evidence they provide. Hordes of dead voters. Here's our proof. A tweet by this guy. Oh my God. Saying dead vote appears to have swung overwhelmingly for Joe Biden. And yeah, we have as proof, we have a picture of a cemetery. Like, oh my God, you can't. Yeah, this is like, I'm convinced actually, Susanna. Let's just end this here. I'm convinced. I think we're good. Yeah, this is it. This is the proof that we need.
So, basically every single story of what here's the emphasis: large numbers of dead people voting never check out. Okay, so there's this idea that there is such an amount of dead people voting that it altered the election results. There was one recent case of a man who was charged for voting for Trump using his dead mother's name. But the idea that there was hordes that swung overwhelmingly for Biden, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't check out. Oh, there was one claim that we missed about him, about the lost USB drives. So there was a theft at a Philadelphia warehouse, and people are claiming that because of this theft, this makes the 2020 election illegitimate. So basically, there was a theft of a laptop and USB drives, but it had no impact whatsoever on the election. The stolen laptops were not part of the voting system, and the USBs were fully encrypted. So
right.
It was there's no impact. It's not enough to swing things to the point that Trump would have had a win.
Yes.
In Philadelphia.
What people have to understand is that it's possible to send in as many illegitimate votes as you want, as long as you accept that you might get arrested for it, right? It's not the number of votes that are casted that are illegitimate that could swing an election. It's how many of them are counted, because yeah, there are people who might have tried to, like the Trump voter, to vote, as somebody that is not living, or some other ways of cheating. But just because you find dead voters, that doesn't mean they're going to be counted, right? It's really the process of submitting the vote is really easy, and there's no check at the beginning of who gets to submit the vote. The check comes at the counting process, right? When they actually end up counting them, then if it's somebody is dead, they're going to check the name, they're going to check the death date, and they're going to yeah, we're not going to count this. And sometimes you're going to get arrested. Did that guy get arrested?
I think
he's going to get a prison sentence, isn't it? Like, that's election fraud. That guy is in trouble, isn't he? Right? But again,
it's not a charge I'm willing to. He's been charged. He's been charged.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, he was 70.
So
that's not a charge I'm willing to catch.
No, but again, if you actually look into the people that actually did try to use dead votes, and the fact that they were caught, you actually get like, wow, look at the system, the checks and balances in place that is so good at catching these, right? And actually, if you look at the people that they think that was voting for Biden, that they say they were dead votes. If you actually follow up with the story, you could see like, no, they were pretty much alive, right? Like you could actually just show up. Like, people actually look. There are people that actually look into these things, and they actually showed up at that lady's house, right? The one that they could find that was a vote of a dead person. It was actually a woman that used her.
Oh yeah.
There's like sweet little granny. She voted for Biden, and she was like, I don't know why she like. Because
of her. Want me to explain it?
Yeah. Explain it.
It's an old-fashioned tradition that when someone gets married, the woman will take the full name of her husband. Like, I remember getting mail that was addressed to Mrs., Mr., and Mrs., and then my dad's first name. So they're addressing my mother as my dad's full name, right? So say it was Mr. and Mrs. James Goodwin. Okay. So I think one of the names was James. So she was voting as Mrs. James Goodwin. You know, her name is not James Goodwin, but it's just an old-fashioned tradition that you will take the full name of your husband, and you'll often in certain documentation be addressed that way.
Right. But look at but a lot of these Republicans, they just consider this as proof. You just have a Republican with a blue check mark saying that their dead votes appear to have swung overwhelmingly for Joe Biden, and a picture of a cemetery, and that's all they need to go by. They don't need to look into it. They don't need to do any research. They just they wanted Trump to win. They just really, really, really wanted Trump to win, and he didn't. And now they're coming up with a story for why he didn't. Just like when they crucified Jesus, and they really didn't want to. They didn't want him to be dead. They're like, well, this was part of his plan. It was part of his plan to be crucified. Just like when Hussein died, they were like, oh, why did a religious leader die? Well, it was part of his plan. Like something. They have to come up with a story to just it's copium. It's basically just copium, right? Copium. Yeah, and how many of the do you really think these people actually went and done the research to see if this tweet? This is again, there's a reason why he's not showing you any of the proof, because this is all they have: a tweet with a picture of a cemetery, and they're crazy Republican leaders just saying that this is so. That's all they need to go by.
Goes funny. The Dems have a necromancer and staff for voting. Okay, there are probably QAnon supporters who genuinely believe this.
Yeah.
How many
Don't
times
give them ideas.
have I heard them be like, the demon rats?
Yeah, Ghost Funny, you that might be a funny joke, but if you're not careful, they actually are gonna take it.
They're taking notes.
They're gonna take it ooh, that's good. Okay. All right, let's continue.
All for Biden. The dead people really did vote for Biden. I fact-checked it. And what are the...
This is, by the way, I don't know if you guys get that. He's just making fun of fact checkers because they don't believe in fact checkers. And also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy of Where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free, it's not even promotion, it's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.